it for additional hardware or locks themselves? I know that was another question. They would call that even $10,000 that they can have for locker improvements.
I'm not sure of those door styles.
Well, they
if
have
can
the
really
actual
do it.
physical combination locks on them.
Yeah.
I'm just saying we at least give them some money to be able to buy additional locks.
Oh, okay.
So give them enough money to do the embed where they can do the embed, but also give them a little bit of money to replace and,
Replace the master locks
yes, sir,
and replace locks. So you want to make that $10,000?
make locker improvements, whether they want them in sixth grade or seventh grade, eighth grade, make it even $10,000. Okay, Mr. Watts, I know we went over this one, this is a work order. We can explain maybe just a little bit about the replacing the sewer line or the trees and kind of what that fix is gonna look like? The very first item. Are we gonna remove those trees by work order?
If you say cut trees, I'm cutting trees. But,
Okay. Well, are the trees the problem, I guess?
well, that's part of the problem, yes. And it seems like, we manage it. We do have a program that we do put root rot in those lines and all that, and, we try to manage it.
Well, so look.
We can get really involved here.
Yeah, well, kind of jumping the gun a little bit too, because that's we talked about cutting them down last year, but that was the only place out there that those kids had for shade.
Right.
At the time. There is a big item on there for an awning.
Right.
Okay, so I'd like to open that up for discussion. I am open to putting an awning. We have the concrete funded to redo the playground. We investigated options for sunshades, for different types of things that, that they don't really hold up. That was kind of some of the concern. So an 80 by 80 awning at $295,000. I'm definitely open to funding that.
This would go
Or at
hand in
least-
hand with those, you wouldn't want to repair the concrete and then come next year and say, we're gonna put an awning. This would go hand in hand.
That would be good with funding it together.
Okay.
So we'd put that in capital.
Yes, sir. Put that one in capital. Okay, you did not have funding for the AC in the front gym lobby, PLC room, fourth wing downstairs. Didn't we add, we added air conditioners to at least some of that already
Correct,
last year.
correct.
So I assume at that price point, that's probably 2 more split units
What did we price?
at 15.5?
The front lobby would be at 510 residential.
Oh, it would, okay.
I mean,
The other two would be split units.
So just for the front lobby would be 15.5. That's at 510, and that's right there in front of the boys' gym, where you normally come in for graduation and things like that. And I know that is one of the big items that she said, that she could get that one, she could let the third or fourth wing kind of dwindle down. But she said it is very unbearable in there in the mornings, especially when it starts to warm up outside.
Yep.
With all the traffic coming in and out,
I agree. Yeah.
and the graduation services.
I'd like to fund it. I'd like to fund it.
Maintenance, Brad?
yes, yes, please.
I know the other thing when we went in there, that was like a big issue for them was their intercom system, was what they caught us on like as soon as we walked in.
So, yeah, can you kind of talk about that intercom system? 'Cause
Bells
I know
and the
another school
intercoms.
has requested that as well. That's at the bottom, right, I think, second.
I'm looking.
new intercom and bell system that she was, yeah.
I mean, most of this stuff is repairable with work orders, as they need. I mean, we hadn't really addressed, these intercom systems in a while, but everything she has is repairable. So if she's having issues, you know, that might just be a work order away, and then we'll address it as needed, but,
Okay, well, maybe that's something that we can look, because I want to say there was 2 schools that had requested a new intercom bell system.
yeah.
If that's something we can look at and maybe revisit it later this summer.
Well, it's one of those programs, like I kind of started with the fire alarm system. We just about finished upgrading all of our fire alarms across the parish. And this intercom system was gonna kind of be the same way the next phase, once we finished with all the fire alarms, then we was gonna go across the parish and start finishing up all of our intercom system. So in the my long-range plans, that's next. You know, and they are pricey, you know, $45,000 is, you know, and it could be more than that depending, but that's a good start for us to get the head in and get some of the hardware installed. So, if you
Okay.
want to put some money aside for capital, for future,
I mean, I think we probably look at what's existing there.
Yeah.
And if it is repairable, let's look at
Yeah.
repairing it through a work order.
Yeah.
If not, then let's get a firm quote and
Yeah.
a good number on it.
Yeah.
And we can revisit that.
so would you like to put some money aside now?
I mean, I don't think we need to.
Okay.
You know, if we
Okay.
can address it then, we just address it then.
Okay,
I would like to ask about, the concrete courtyard outside the library.
Mhm.
12.5, that was an area that they did with, they had plants and things like that at one time just to try to spruce it up. But they're looking, you know, it's behind, I think, a wall and just kind of a water trap right now.
it's a maintenance thing too, you know, to try to keep the grass up and all that, hard to get a lawnmower in and out of there, you weed eat it and all that, and
I'd like,
it
I'd like to
was-
fund that one.
Okay.
I'd like to fund that, go ahead and clean that area up. That is part of the front of the school too. And then the only other thing I'd like to look at, I mean, it's, I don't know if it should be a fairly low cost item compared to some of these, but, the screens for the security system. There's 3 admin offices.
I've already started taking care of that.
You did, okay. Okay. Technology, okay. Okay, that's all I got on junior high. Ms. Becky, you good on it?
I make a motion to approve the Morgan City Junior High with the changes that we stated.
I'll second
Motion by
that.
Ms. Black, second by Ms. Dennis. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, Norman, Mr. Wallace.
Items we're asking for tonight for Norman, restroom floors in the 2nd grade girls and 3 to 5 grade girls, $16,000. Paint interior, $5,000. Change AC condensers for room 17 and 18, $11,000. Install metal panels underneath the bus canopy, $13,500. Custodial equipment, they'd like a low-speed floor machine and a carpet shampooer, $1,500. Paint the parking lot, $2,500. And those are the items for Norman.
Okay,
I'd like to add the hand washing sink for the cafeteria, because that was kind of really old,
it was, that was,
8,000.
yeah.
That's an antique. You want to remove that antique? I'm like, what are we gonna do with that when we take it out of there? I'm like, this is kind of. Yeah.
Now, why is there no price on her tent on the cafeteria windows?
What was the question?
There's no price next to, it says tent on the cafeteria windows, so outsiders cannot see inside, and it says no price
That's a large area, and they're little small.
with little
It
windows.
gets very pricey. I didn't put a price. If you want to put an allotment, we can maybe do up to 2 or 3 or 4. glasses, but, it gets very pricey to clean it and to make tint stick to it.
Okay. I know
So-
there's some sort of tint on it, it's just peeling or something,
Yeah,
right?
and that's what I'm saying, to have to clean that, it gets very problematic and, pricey.
So I guess just for security purposes, going up a certain height, can you put a number at that? I mean, any idea on
Give
that?
me $8,000 and I'm sure we can probably do the first 2 or 3 rows across.
Okay. 8,000, you said? Yeah. Well, yeah, let's at least add that, I'd say we add the
Yeah,
8
definitely.
for sure, just so that the, security concern is taken care of. And we add in the sink. I would like to talk about, the office and the sped rooms, 12 and 13. You have that at 14,000. Was it, we kind of talked about that. I think what she was looking for is like, maybe some cubicle partitions, a little bit like, well, I say cubicle, like higher than a normal office cubicle. But is that something that can be done in there, or you looking at building?
We were gonna build walls, not all the way to the ceiling, but not only that, but we was gonna add electrical and everything else associated with that.
Okay.
Once we start making offices, then they're gonna wanna plug in this, that, and the other, so that's,
Right, so that 14,000 included all that.
Yep.
I mean, I'd like to add that. That was important to Ms. LaPointe.
maintenance.
Two things that I just want to note for Norman, not right now, but maybe later, as part of our bigger capital discussion later. At some point, we need to think about the climate control storage. That was something that she needed pretty bad. And the concrete under the covered area. But I think we talk about that after we get through this maintenance, these maintenance projects. But I just wanted to make note of that. So other than that, any other?
We've had many discussions about just a couple of those trees where they park, right in front of the building.
The big pine trees we're talking
Yeah,
about?
they're right, they're,
Or
the
the-
entrance area, there's
the
like
en- the
2 or
oak
3
trees.
that are, the parking lot is built around them. And they drop things constantly in that, they do. I
You
don't
know-
know about all of them, because I know that's a whole,
We were trying to be as gingerly as possible when we put that concrete down, and I was hoping that we weren't gonna kill those trees. But I guess, from the change of not having concrete over that root system, and now that they do, they are deteriorating. I'm hoping they're not dead, or may come back, but, and I hate cutting them down. But if you say cut them down, I'm the man.
I'd like to put some money to pruning them and getting some of that dead stuff out of them,
Well, we can do that we can,
or through work order.
Flower bed or something in those areas to where it's.
2 that are in the parking lot area.
I think there's 3 of them. There's 3. There's 3 of them. And they have deteriorated over the past 3 or 4 years since we put that parking lot in.
It's gonna eventually probably crack our parking lot, right? You
Well,
think?
if they continue to deteriorate, they're gonna,
I say we fund to cut down the 3 in.
I'd like to look at it before we say that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't go out there to look at, I'm not a fan of cutting down oak trees.
I'm not either.
They're oak or they're pine?
They're oak, no,
'Cause-
those are oak
those
trees.
are-
Oh, okay, I was
Yeah,
thinking they were the
no,
pine
which-
trees.
The pine trees are in the back.
Oh.
Yeah, the
Which-
pine trees
Cause
are
I
in the
would cut a
back.
pine tree down, I don't wanna cut
Yeah,
a
yeah,
oak.
I-
But I'll cut a pine.
Yeah,
No, those oaks are,
Yeah.
some beautiful trees over there.
yeah.
So even the ones at Morgan City Junior, those are oaks, that's why I'm so hesitant over there.
Me too.
But,
But,
that area is not in the residential,
yeah.
and
View.
those are some
In the
nice
view.
features.
it was the pine trees.
No, those are
Yeah.
oak trees.
No, Mr. Wise, do not cut those trees
No.
down. We'll look at it, see what kind of pruning we can do to
And-
maybe get a,
And we've been fertilizing them and trying to baby them and assist them along to hopefully get,
okay, so are we good on Norman? Ms. Bosman, you good? Okay, so looking for a motion on Norman.
I'll make a motion to
Okay, Ms. Black
accept.
makes the motion.
And I'll second it.
Ms. Dennis seconds. Any other discussion? I'd just like to clarify, that is not to include cutting down the oak trees, Mr. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Oakwin, Mr. Weiss.
Items for Oakland, paint parking lot, $2,500, paint the interior, $5,000, paint exterior, $5,000, pressure washing, $2,500, custodial equipment, they'd like a furniture mover, $1,100, replace AC unit in room 9, $3,500, replace electrical panel in the kitchen that was damaged due to the wet environment, $4,000, boys PE bathroom seal and repairs, $3,500. And those are the items for Oakland.
Okay. Ms. Dennis?
Yeah, I would like to add the 5,000 for the tent, the 10,000 for the privacy slats, and the 3,500 for the padding for the gym walls.
I agree. I would also like to talk about the flooring replacement upstairs and downstairs at 20,000. So I do want to do that project, but I'd like you to go, if you don't mind, and take a look and see what's causing some of that damage before we spend the money to fix it. I'd like to fix what's causing it, but I do want to fund that.
Yeah.
Maybe not right now. I want to get the fix done, but we don't know how much the fix would
Yeah.
cost.
Well, $20,000, of course, is not all the floors.
Right.
That's just a section of that hallway, not everything upstairs and downstairs.
Okay.
So it was just an allotment, just something that we can, get done over the summer. But, you know, it's just, you could put $100,000 in here and then maybe get it all done, but it'd be done in sections, is what I was thinking.
Okay, and, but I still would like to, in that regard, sectioning it off, that's basically what you're saying, you can
Yeah.
get done over the summer.
Yeah. We have some sections that are worse than others up there. So we'll take the worst of the worst, get that done this summer, then the next summer do another section and then work our way downstairs, because upstairs is worse than downstairs.
Were there some classrooms that were worse than others? Upstairs, that was only in the hall.
Classrooms were not terrible, it's the hallway. The upstairs is worse than the downstairs. I think it was from the roof leaks that were constant, and those have been fixed. We didn't
Yeah.
have anything today. My worry about the piecing, I don't want it to be pieced upstairs versus downstairs, two different kind. But I don't want it to look like we did part of it, ran out of materials, so now we're gonna do another part, and it's gonna be different because we can't find this floor. I'd like some consistency, even if the top and bottom have to be done at separate times, if we're gonna focus on what's worse, the top, I would like us to do the top if possible. And I know we had talked about flooring and painting that one hallway at a time, when y'all had come by, so I don't know what's possible.
I would think area-wise, as far as paint, look, summer's almost on us, right? If we're talking about a $100,000 flooring job across that entire upstairs, I don't think we're in a position to put that out for bid, get numbers back and get those guys up and running. Maybe we focus on paint right now, get everything painted, and look at flooring next year. I also want to make sure that we fix what's causing the flooring damage.
Well, I think, like I said, we've had numerous roof leaks and issues in that area upstairs. So,
And that's where we had the new roof?
yes.
Okay. Okay, we have some money for painting interior, but that's not gonna be enough for that upstairs. That is the ceramic walls, kind of same thing we have in a lot of the older facilities. So, look, I'd like to take that $20,000, put it to paint.
Mm-hmm.
So change the 5 to 20.
25.
25 and in painting. Can you get that done over the summer?
Mm-hmm, yes.
Okay. And then floors, I think, I kind of agree with you. Unfortunately, you can't get it done in the summer, but we need a project set to where we can have probably enough people to come in there and knock it out.
But if we wait till this time next year, it's gonna be the same thing, so we're gonna make that decision prior to.
In July.
Next year.
Yes, I'd like to make that decision July, later this summer, kind of as a big, one of those bigger capital project items.
We can do that.
It's a little bit different, maybe not exactly what you want to hear, but you know, I mean,
I see what you're saying, that we gotta have the time to do it. I just don't want us to be in this place
that's a
next
very,
May where it's the same thing, we're not gonna have time over the summer.
that's a very valid point.
If we don't
It's a very
do that,
valid point.
yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
So I think we have to plan it early and then kind of it's on hold until school's out and we can knock it out. Anything else at Oakland? We are good to add the padding. We are good to add the 10,000 for privacy slats. We're making paint 25,000. We're adding 5,000 for the tent. Or did we talk about tent?
Yes.
Okay.
is that just the regular tent? That's not the fancy like what Patterson Junior had? On there?
The graphic that we had talked about before.
I don't think Brad's listening to y'all.
I'm just trying to keep my numbers straight here. Okay, I'm sorry.
I said, I'm assuming that's just plain.
Right,
tent.
plain.
That's not like what
Yeah.
Patterson Junior would have.
And
on there.
it's not that much more expensive. If, you know, if you do want to do the graphics or the colors or the logos and all that,
This would be nice to have our logo.
it's not that much more expensive.
Since it's the same price, basically, they can, I just say,
Yeah.
Get
it-
whatever
it
it
might
is that
be-
they
It might
want.
be another $1,000, but I think, you know, we can, if that's what you want, we'll just have to work with that distributor that does that for us, and not a problem. Yep. So you gotta design it, I'm not. And I'm not picking the color either.
My first degree was marketing.
Okay. Looking for a motion on Oakland.
I make a motion to approve the changes to Oakland's,
Motion by Ms. Dennis,
All right, I'll second that.
second by Ms. Black. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, Wyandotte. Mr. Wise.
Okay. Items, we're asking for paint interior, front and second hallway and doors, rooms 19, front office, $10,000. Paint exterior, $5,000. Paint parking lot, $2,500. Pressure washing, $2,500. Continue cementing the area in the parking lot on Roderick Street, $10,000 allotment. Custodial equipment, they're asking for an auto scrubber and a vacuum cleaner, $4,100. Update fire alarm system, phase 2, this would be the center classroom wing and the portable buildings, $13,000. And those are the items we're asking for Wyandotte.
Okay.
I would like to add, the rear door to room 15 for 12,500. The school marquee sign for 12,000 and the privacy screen coverings for 2,700.
Okay. I am too, and I would also like to point out, Ms. Chase, I know kind of flooring was the same thing. I think we kind of look at it the same way we're going to look at Oakland's floor because, Brad, was that 50,000? That wasn't to do that large area. That's probably to do the same thing, if I had to guess, huh?
Yep.
Okay. So I think we discussed that too a little bit later in the summer. Let's get the maintenance stuff knocked out and see what kind of capital projects we can do. Okay, Ms. Chase, anything you'd like to add or any comments?
No, flooring wise, my biggest thing was outside of the office, it doesn't match, so it doesn't look appealing to be right outside the office, it's a good match, but I understand.
Well, and I guess kind of the thing, if we only did part of it, it would just not match somewhere else down the line
Right.
too. I'd like to,
Yeah. And unfortunately, you know, you go a year or two and you're not gonna match it, even though it's, you call it the same material. They're gonna be a different dye lot. It's gonna be something that's not gonna match
Okay,
if we don't buy it all at one time.
okay. Look for a motion.
No price for the air conditioning to the back hallway.
Add air conditioning to the back hallway, okay.
It says no price.
Yeah, we looked at that, very problematic to be able to get an air conditioner in that area into that hallway, dealing with attic spaces. We'd almost have to rooftop that, put, units on the roof and then duct down into the hallway. Not something we'd really like to do. These schools, of course, you know, were built without air conditioning back in the day. And I understand now that everybody's keeping their doors shut. Now you're not getting that ventilation into the hallway that you used to get. And, it's an issue. I mean, we can get prices on it, but,
Can you think of any other alternative that could circulate air that way?
I'm gonna say leave the doors open, but you don't wanna leave, you don't wanna leave the doors open, you know, so. You know,
Just a question, do the doors have to be solid, or can they have the louvered vents as part of our safety protocol? I mean, I don't.
we don't touch doors, if they were designed and engineered a certain way. We try not to touch doors, especially in hallways, especially in schools.
Are the fire marshals
Yes.
playing? Okay.
Yes, it's, schools are a different animal, so we try to leave that alone the way they were designed originally.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay, well, any other discussion on that? Otherwise, looking for a motion? Ms. Black, motion by Ms. Black.
And I'll second.
Ms. Dennis seconds. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, Maitland.
Items we're asking for from Maitland is paint the interior hallways and the cafeteria, $10,000. New floor in the dean of student, bookkeeper's, principal's office due to an AC water leak, $8,500. Paint exterior, $5,000. Pressure washing, $2,500. Paint the parking lot, $2,500. Replace the roof over the gym, $42,000. Fix and replace condenser on the fresh air machine in the two-story building, $5,000. Custodial equipment, a vacuum cleaner, $500. New swing set, 2 sets of 4 swings, $4,500. Another set of parking lot lights, $2,500. And those are the items we're asking for from Maitland.
Okay. Excuse me. So as far as cleaning and shampoo, the stage curtains, you got $3,500. Is that something that we have the equipment and anything to do?
We were gonna get one of the local carpet cleaner guys to do this for us. This is what he's basically said it would probably cost.
Okay. I mean, I'd like to add that if,
I have a question. She did not ask for this, but as I was leaving there, she has some privacy material on her fence, but she has sections where there's not there. And I didn't go walk the property to see like the backside of it. But is that something we can look at, even allocating her a little bit and fixing some of that? Because it's like we've put it up in the past and now she's missing sections. So like it's kind of defeating the purpose of having the privacy coverings on some of her fences. And it just doesn't look real nice, and it's just defeating the purpose of why we have it. You can still see all the kids on the playground and stuff.
She had gotten this product on her own, I think, through some grant or something. It didn't come through us, but we did put it up. And I don't know, I know that we didn't do it all. It's not a very expensive product. It's called a windscreen or a shade, if you want to continue with that, I mean, it's not that expensive.
That would be fine. Like, what would you suggest we maybe allocate for her to,
$2,000 would buy.
2,000?
Would
All
probably
right.
buy 500 foot of it.
All right, I would like to give her 2,000 to fix her
Privacy
privacy screen. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Otherwise, looking for a motion on Maitland. All right, Ms. Black makes a motion. Second by Ms. Dennis. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay.
One more thing.
Yep. Oh, yeah. No.
I would like to, talk about allocating about 25,000 to each school for student furniture needs.
I agree.
And that's each school site.
Yes, to be used, for student use.
Okay, do we need I guess, put a motion? Yeah.
I'll make a motion to allocate 25,000 to each school to be able to use for student furniture needs.
Okay. Motion by
I
Ms. Black,
second that.
Second by Ms. Dennis. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Ms. Voisin? We are good. Okay. Well,
We added, 160,000, nope, 165,700 to maintenance and 475,000 to capital. I don't have a number on the 25,000 per school. How many schools do we know? We have one district, we almost have a cheat sheet somewhere. Six, so six. So that's another 150,000. It's still good. We cannot turn red. And like, this isn't really our official budget, like, we'll get together later and actually have the full board approve everything, but this is our starting point that flows into the big overall maintenance district budgets.
okay. Thank you. Any other business? I was looking for a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Ms. Dennis, second by Ms. Black. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.